Hello my friends and welcome to the Panzer Corps the Panzer Corps 2 campaign. Caught myself there. Panzer Corpses. Okay. No jokes for this one. This is the real campaign. So we are going to be playing Field Marshal. We're going to do the whole campaign from beginning to end. I now have access to the whole campaign. So we will start with the Poland 1939 61 mission German campaign on the hardest difficulty. One adjustment I'm going to make, I've been experimenting. This combat randomness, it means that you have a margin of 50% in either direction for the outcome of a fight. Which means that the fight can go really, really well or really badly, just based on RNG alone. I am actually not a fan of RNG for a whole multitude of reasons. When you win, like when you get great rolls and you just destroy some critical unit that the enemy has and then the rest of their army falls apart, it doesn't feel that good. And when it happens to you, it doesn't feel good either. And when you guys are following along and you're like, oh, I'm gonna use the same strategies that TheEdmon used, but they didn't work. And a lot of the time that might be because of RNG. You got a particularly bad roll on a particularly critical fight or whatever, or the enemy got some really good rolls or whatever. And so everything changed. And then from that point you had to adjust what you were doing. And I don't like it. Now, I don't think that there should be no randomness, because, you know, a little bit of randomness adds a bit of spice to the proceedings, of course. But I don't like an absolutely huge margin of randomness like this. I didn't realise that when it said 50%, it literally meant 50% of the outcome, plus or minus 50% of the outcome, would be decided totally by RNG. But the beautiful thing about this game is that you can adjust it. So I'm moving the RNG down. So that means that if the enemy gets me in a bad position, luck will not save me. Likewise, luck will not save them. And vice versa. I'm not sure whether you would say that this makes the game more or less difficult. Because obviously you're never going to get lucky either. You're never going to, you know, bomb a artillery piece defending a city, critical artillery piece defending a city, and you bomb it with your fighter plane, and instead of getting 4 kills, you end up getting like 7 kills and 3 suppression, and you've just basically completely destroyed that artillery in one shot with your aircraft, and then that city just falls. There's real ways to abuse randomness to make the game easier for you. Like, so just a quick example, because I feel really quite strongly about this. Imagine there are 3 cities that you're attacking, and each city has got artillery behind it. So in order to attack the city, you really need to cripple the artillery first. Otherwise, every attack you make on the city is going to result in the artillery bombing you. Now, if you have 3 planes and you attack each artillery, then say, you know, you roll badly on one artillery, so that artillery is still there with almost full health. And you do average on one artillery, so that artillery is there with the expected losses of about 4. And the 3rd city, you hit that artillery and you luck out. You get that full 50% or whatever, and you destroy 6 or 7 of them and suppress the rest. Well then, of course, you just attack the city first. The one where you brutalized the artillery. You just destroy that city first. Right? And you don't worry about the one where you got a bad roll. You flatten the one where you got a good roll, and then you just steamroll it, and then next turn you try again on the other 2 and see whether you get a good roll on either of the artilleries defending them. You see, so you can abuse a high margin of luck, especially with units that expect no return fire. So in this case, you know, aircraft bombing artillery, the artillery can't shoot back. So if you get a high roll or a bad roll, it doesn't really matter too much in terms of you taking losses, because the enemy won't shoot back. But it matters a lot for the enemy, the one that you actually get a good roll on, you might annihilate it, and then you can attack that point and just win very easily. So this is the thing about RNG, is even when it goes in your favor, or even when you exploit it, I don't feel like it doesn't feel good to me to win because I rolled good dice. And likewise, it doesn't feel good to lose if you roll bad dice. So I'm toning the randomness down to 10% here. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to make the game harder or easier, but it should just make it a whole lot smoother. So that's my preference there. I'm going to leave everything else as default. So hardest difficulty, but with 10% randomness instead of 50. And that may work against me. We'll see. Right, we attacked the north last time, so let's attack the south. Just for fun. It doesn't actually seem to be showing me here what bonus I'd get for each attack, like it did in the alpha version, but that's cool. Oh, I'm so excited to play this. I'm sorry about the 4-minute rant on randomness. I just despise randomness. Even when you can exploit it, even when it's potentially a good thing for you, I still don't like it. I appreciate that a little bit is adds a bit of spice, and I think 10% is around about nice for a bit of spice, but 50% is crazy talk. Right, so I still like the idea of this industry connections. Oh, it's been buffed. 15 or 20 random prototypes in every mission except the first. We only did one mission last time, so that's why we didn't see any prototypes. The prototypes that were on offer for sale were actually a bonus for winning the first mission, not as a result of this. Oh, you get 2 selections now, not 1. Isn't that interesting? So in the alpha version you only got 1 selection, but in this version you, this is potentially the release version, this is the beta version, you get 2 selections, so that's quite cool. Oh, they've actually just reworked the price of a load of things. That would be why. Can upgrade no more than 3 units per mission. Transport upgrades and overstrength do not count. You could actually probably work around that quite readily. I mean, you could potentially sell units and buy back upgraded ones, for example, if you really needed to. Cannot order units to move through the fog of war. I was going to take this and Panzer General because they both cost 1 point in the alpha version, and so I figured if tanks were 25% less slots, you could just add a couple of recons and then explore with those, and then it wouldn't be such a penalty. But of course, this is now 2 and this is -1, so that's quite different. Plus 50% prestige for capturing flags. Now, on Field Marshal, one of the main penalties is that you have less money to work with, so that might be really big for me. Interesting. All tanks get +1 movement and cross minor rivers easier. Wow. That's pretty cool. Wow, this one's gone up a point. This now costs 2 points instead of 1. Splitting units does not. Okay. So 10% less core slots. That's not only -2, but it's been nerfed. So you can deploy 10% less units, but you could potentially counter that with one of these. Cannot purchase air units -3. Doesn't surprise me that that one has become even bigger. That's a terrifying negative. So is this one, denied artillery. That's been buffed too. But I still wouldn't take it. Denying yourself aircraft and artillery it's not good. It would make life really hard for you. Really hard. Especially if you took them both. Elite replacements are limited to 3 times per mission. That's not as bad as I thought. So originally that one was that you couldn't use elite replacements at all. Instead you can only use it 3 times. Well, that might be okay. I actually think that's pretty huge. Poor maintenance. Due to breakdowns, units randomly lose move points and attack actions at the beginning of the turn. Oh, how horrible would that be? Units get reduced supply at the beginning of their turn. Oh, they changed this one. It's -3 now. I took one look at that in the alpha build and it was like, oh, I only get 1 point for that. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. At -3, that's more priced to sell. Still an absolutely horrible penalty to have, though. Each attack deals 1 point less damage to an enemy's entrenchment. This obviously makes it difficult to unpick cities. I don't know if I want to touch any of this. Map around all primary objectives is permanently revealed. This is so powerful. Because it allows you to deploy your aircraft into bombing runs. Fear of the unknown. Man, this because this is going to affect the whole campaign, right? So the moment we commit here, we're committed. For the next 61 missions, we're committed to this. So this is actually a hugely important decision that we're making right now. I think what I really want is Liberator, because it's going to generate money for me. And I'm going to need money. But I don't know what I could take to offset that. That wouldn't be horrible. Over the course of 61 missions, you know, modernizing this might be something we could really get away with. Random prototypes. I mean, there's a potential there to make good money out of that as well by selling the prototypes if they're no good. That's horrible. Ah, such a impactful, such an important decision. You know what? I'm gonna go with slow modernization. What the hell? So I can only upgrade 3 units per mission. That's okay. If I have to, I might sell and rebuild if I need to. It's going to make every upgrade decision really impactful. But what this will allow me to do is get Liberator, which means that I'm going to have extra money to play with, which I'm going to need on this difficulty level. And I think I also want to get Deep Recon, because knowledge is power. And being able to have a look at enemy cities and see what they have there, that's going to be very powerful to me. I think the rest of this, I really like the idea of this one as well. An extra movement for tanks is very powerful. This is a decision between these two. I wonder how much that actually reveals. Let's go with Deep Recon. Knowledge is power. Okay, that's it. Probably the biggest decision in the campaign has been made. Literally the most important decision that you can make. Oh, it's pretty good actually. It reveals the city and 3 tiles around it. Okay. Oh, direct declaration of war will be arriving later. This is a recon's very nice here. Okay, deployment phase. So we've been given. What is this? Is this a fighter? Yes, it's a fighter. Air attack 10. Huh. So they totally changed, or reasonably changed, what you actually start with. In fact, I've started with a lot of aircraft here. That's a dive bomber. It's another fighter. And a strat bomber. Alright, so I mean, they've given me loads of kit to play with right from the offset. This is not like the alpha version. Ah, don't do that. That's a misclick. That's a simple misclick. Well, it wasn't a misclick, but I didn't realize that it was going to move my aircraft instead of actually selecting the unit that I was pointing at. This can only be used in a hex which you own. Oh right, there's no deployment phase. You've actually, in the first mission, you're... I'm like, interesting. There's no deployment phase. You're actually just expected to get stuck in. I have 36 out of 36 slots here, so I have actually no room to buy anything. They've actually just given me the units that I am expected to use. Alright, then in that case, let's get to work. So I get a recon bonus here against the guys in the city. 4 suppression, so 10 fighting strength. Two suppression, so 8 fighting strength. You can use fighters to engage engage ground units. Nope. Yes. Guess I should probably have encircled this guy first, but... What's that? That's an anti-tank in there. Ah, another bloody misclick. Ah, God, Jesus. For some reason my right click is not unselecting here when maybe I'm just pressing it a little bit too subtly here, but I'm making a couple of little misclicks here. Right. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay. So it was 8, now it's... I guess they have a fighting strength of 5. Alright, push him out. Surrender! They had nowhere to go, so they had to surrender. Pretty simple. Right, let's put the squeeze on this boy. But before we actually before we engage him, let's surround his ass. I don't know if the enemy has any fighters. They've given me a lot of aircraft here, and that concerns me that there might be fighters around. What I'll do is I'll use my fighter to push forward. If they attack that, it can defend itself, so that's okay. Nice. I didn't get my other tank involved because I think that these guys will run. Might as well though. Push them this way. There we go. And by pushing them that way, I don't have to move this unit to make a kill. Ruined. Okay, that just leaves my dive bomber. But he has no available target right now. Very happy with this first turn. Where is my... there we go. Alright. Enemy attack bomber has just appeared. No trouble there, we have fighters for this. Where's the other fire? Long live the fighters! Nope. Yes! Alright, not bad. Ruined. And a lesson was learnt. Nice, 75. Let's park this here. No, I'm not going to attack with it. That would be one of the least bright things to do. Alright, force suppression. Sweet. Fighting strength 5. Inside this artillery does not have the mobility really to get involved there. Let's go. Push, push, push. Alright, he has been ejected from the city. The recon does not have a good shot there, but I need to capture this airbase, actually. It's very apparent to me that I need that airbase to push forward. If I bomb the guy... Alright, he's totally suppressed. I surrendered. Good work, team. If there's an anti-tank sat there and I just go running in like a fool, I will have a bad time. Look at that, this airport just... This has been really well designed or really well thought about. I just don't quite reach these enemy units from here. So I'll use a plane scout. There's usually someone in the town. There we go. Nice. What is that? Anti-tank? Anti-tank. Yeah, I don't fancy it. But that doesn't mean that I can't get into position. What is that? That is a scout car. Okay, anything left to move? This infantry. I don't know if the AI can actually see me moving in the lurking in the darkness. So I won't move too far in, just in case. Okay. Ah, another plane. Oof, that hurt. Ambush! Oh, massacred. Oh, I took some serious counter pain though. Okay. This is going to work out in my favor. Just suppression. Let's overstrength. 69. I'm in a town, you see. I'm in a town, and that matters. Before you engage, let's have the fighters dispose of the enemy. Nice! Just in case the fighter engages me. Oh, come on. A little bit fiddly to click there. Alright, 1 HP. He's basically done. Alright, that wasn't exactly the best thing ever. Oh, this recon is defended by the anti-tank gun. He ain't defended from this, though. That is an anti-aircraft gun in the airport there. Good kill. Probably wise to make replacements here. Probably also wise to get off the road. Move to the city. We'll make the replacements in the city. Three turns in. Just thinking about how far we've progressed here, but they've lost a lot of expensive units. I mean, they've lost aircraft. Deciding whether I want to bring this artillery up here, and I think I do. Wait a minute, did that not go? Did I misclick that? Evidently I did. I'm rethinking about it now. He could just attack me. I mean, he could just come out of the city and attack me. Forget it. We'll go here for now. I had planned to go here before I misclicked, but I had planned to actually move to this spot and bomb him. I don't think the AI will ever leave the city, but it's kind of a bad way to play to exploit the AI like that. A good player would just move out of the city and shoot my artillery there. I don't think that the AI would. But I'm also not willing to test it. I have the high ground! You can't win if I have the high ground. Alright, that cavalry is as good as dead. This is the infantry that I'm sending up here to clean this out. Alright, all units moved. Nothing further to do. Oh, that was a huge mistake. Why did you do that? Right, let's get the old tack in there. I don't think that the enemy will be coming with their one plane. Get wrecked. Let's push these guys out. Engineers, really very good at capturing cities. Now, if you've played the map before, and I haven't played the map before, but potentially if you'd played the map before, then you would know that there's, you know, no enemies here or whatever. But I'm having to, I'm moving at a schedule which has a level of aggression, but it's a measured level of aggression. I'm not pushing hard to get in here as quickly as possible because it's fraught with risk. And I don't like risk. I'll get my fighter on the case here. Fighters are actually very solid items, units for picking off crippled enemies. Like, you build your fighters to take care of enemy bombers, attack bombers, and enemy fighter planes, right? That much is obvious. But once the task is complete of stripping the enemy aircraft out of the air, they can serve a great purpose in just cleaning up crippled enemies. And so you should consider them for that role. Alright, there is nothing here. And he won't come out, because he's the last bastion for that city. Horse-drawn artillery, yeah! So I need to capture this airport. We still have lots of time. But on capturing this airport, I can then begin my reign of terror on these enemies. The likes of which they have never seen. What are the odds that there's a unit in that airport? I only have one tank that can move this turn. Oh wait, I know what I can do. I can just scout with the aircraft. Oh, there's an AA gun. That's fine. Be aware that in World War II, anti-aircraft artillery was, you know, more of an aircraft deterrent than actually anything useful against air. However, the Germans made some really, really, really delicious anti-aircraft guns. The 88 comes to mind, and at least in Panzer Corps 1, the that weapon was a better anti-tank than all the anti-tanks. Like, it was great against air for suppressing it, but it was also incredibly deadly against enemy tanks. And you never built anti-tanks, because why would you build an anti-tank? Why would you build an anti-tank when you can have a totally superior anti-tank that also hits aircraft? So the entire category, the entire anti-tank category in that game was just a total waste of time that you didn't bother with for that reason. Oh, we didn't capture it quickly enough. So I guess they really wanted you to just run in here. Oh well, whatever. There's just more enemies for me to shoot at. But this is one of these things, right? If you've played this mission before, or this map before, you'll know that there's no enemies there, and you can just push But I don't know that because I haven't played it before, so... Overrun, which means I get to move again. I'm going to need you on the front line. I'll use a fast tank to capture this. You can then push up to the front line later. Alright. Let the unpicking begin. I don't think any of my actual bombers have got enough range. Nope. Rebase. Nope. Rebase. Oh, for crying out loud, this is actually quite tricky. Am I not allowed to rebase another aircraft here? Is this airbase limited in some way? Duh, airfield. I guess I can only have one unit there. Well, that's quite annoying. Alright, he's suppressed. Let's get stuck in. I guess I need to capture a real airfield. I'll have my recon remove this tank. I need to capture this airfield. That will allow me to start using my units. How come? I might be able to encircle this. I can then get stuck in from there. Alright, it's just aircraft now. I'm glad I moved my TAC bomb. No wait, that's a fighter, isn't it? That's a fighter. I should have moved the TAC forward instead of this fighter, but never mind. I did not know that the airbase could only support one unit. Okay. Wow, they didn't do anything. Oh no, I can support more units there. It's letting me do it now. It's the TAC bomber. The dirt airfield can't support it because it's too big. That's the problem. The runway is not large enough for a TAC. That's the real issue. Alright, these poor suckers in the city are just totally surrounded now. Oh, they decided They decided to abandon their post. And they surrendered. Not allowed to retreat twice from an encirclement, you're just gone. That was a perfect encirclement, and that city was taken with almost no casualties. Is this attack bomber actually in range of anything? No. I'll rebase it here though. That just gives me a little bit more room to maneuver. Alright, this airport is actually empty. The recon doesn't quite have enough movement to make it. Well, I'm looking at what the enemy has left and I'm not really very excited by it, so. You can also note here that the enemy has got attack bomber floating there, which I can take down. Alright, this is going to be a horrible fight, but whatever. Three. Six turns. I don't know, we've got time. I don't actually have to really aggressively push this issue right now. But I'm going to, whatever. Alright, that's probably not the smartest thing I ever did, but whatever. Infantry fighting tanks in the open, they're brave. Yeah, that wasn't the smartest thing I ever did, but... you know what, whatever. Now my aircraft are in position, so I can get to work. Is that carpet bomber ready? Can he actually hit there? No. Okay, I was too impatient there, really. I should have just waited. Right, I'm not worried about these two positions yet. I will collapse on them shortly. These guys will go down easily now that they're down to 7 strength. But I'll deal with them next turn. Nice. Some good old-fashioned heavy suppression there. It's going to add to these guys' troubles by just totally surrounding them. I'd rather lose 2 infantry than 1 tank. Ah, they moved diagonally, that's a pain. But I can still get him. Nice. Right, I need to get rid of this artillery. I can't actually fully see what's going on here just at the moment. But generally speaking, tanks are pretty safe. I doubt there's an enemy there. You know, we're at 7 out of 15, so I'm not under huge pressure here to push hard. I don't think anyone's in range of this. I think it's only got 2 range. Nah, let's forget that. I was going to move here and attack this, but actually that's not something I need to do on this turn. And it looks like I actually couldn't do that anyway, so... This unit can move. No point in moving it. Okay. They reinforced. That's fine. Time for carpet bombing. Just 1 suppression. It's not very good. Another just 1 suppression. See, yep, this is the one I want. Okay. Kill him. Semi-aircraft in now. Yeah, you know, they're fighters. They're not amazing in this role. But they can be annoying. Nice. Okay, the enemy's in a lot of trouble now. What's their current status? They are 9 suppressed. So they've got a fighting strength of 5. That's pretty bad for them. There we go, mass attack ×2 with recon support in an encircled unit. I'll actually get more kills than they'll get. Oh, they abandoned their post. That was a grievous mistake. That was a grievous mistake. Now they're dead. Let's move my artillery up here, ready to bombard the next... unpick the next pain in the ass in this campaign. Oh, this unit has not moved. One thing it's wise to do is to check units, as in to stand next to them. You can't reinforce if you're standing next to somebody. Ah, you did nothing. Okay, let's go. Fighter planes. Good kill. So you can use your fighter planes for softening up things. Obviously, save your TAC bomber for things that you really need to get to work on. TAC bombers are the absolute best unit for destroying units out of cover, but against units in cities, they're garbage. You need strat bomber for that. Just to explain the roles a little bit. So what we do now is we apply lots of artillery to this poor town. We're being overrun! If I could get the recon up there as well, that'd be even better. Yep. This is turning into a horrible surround for these poor fools. We'll have the infantry down here just clean this up. Okay, that's that dealt with. We also want to capture this airport before the map ends, because that's more prestige for us. And we love some prestige. Alright, that was pretty brutal. 4 suppressed. Fighting strength 10. Another 3 suppressed. Fighting strength 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fighting strength after all that. Oh my god, this is horrible for them. I'll take hardly any damage here. Lead the attack with the engineers. Suppression sticks. So they have a suppression of 7 and that's going to stay, even if they take casualties. So now their fighting strength is 5. 3 over 3, 3 over 3, 3 over 2, 3 over 3. There's no clean way for me to attack here without taking some damage. Now it's up to me. I have 6 turns left. That's lots of time. There's no one pressurizing me to actually make this. You know, you got to think about this. This is a 61 mission campaign. We have a long way to go, and we want to save as much money as possible. So since we have so many turns left, let's just end. Alright, so I took a little bit of infantry damage. But what this means is that I will now not... I didn't lose any tanks. I would have lost 3 tanks attacking there. Now I don't have to lose any. -2? Oh, that's strat bomber. Okay, that wasn't the best. -2, 1 suppression, fighting strength 7. 3 suppression, fighting strength 3. Fighting strength 2. I don't want to lose any men on that one. I'll lose a recon. A little bit cheaper to lose a recon. Quite expensive to re-strength this unit. Yeah, let's keep him elite. Nice. Okay. One last unit to deal with. Get ready for the attack. I'll stay out of range here. If they come out, they could put the hurt on one of my artillery pieces if they come out. But if they come out, they're going to be massacred. So... do you know what? If they come out... fair, you know... fair one, but they are going to pay for it. -3. What about the strat bomber? -3 suppression. These guys are actually exposed here. Right, before I attack with the aircraft, I actually want to move my recon in so I can see them. All the better to see you with. Seven out of 15, suppression 5. So they got a fighting strength of 2. Yes, they retreated. And they retreated that in a way that allows me to get the airport. I think. No, they haven't. Oh, I wanted to grab that airport and be a little bit extra cash in my pocket for that. Oh, you just win instantly. Well, that was a much cleaner victory than in the alpha version. Well, they gave us a great deal more units to start with, I think. We weren't fast enough to prevent the reinforcements, but actually, the reinforcements were just like big shrink-wrapped goodie bags filled with experience points that we could just beat. All right. Okay. Okay. Simple enough. Extraordinary heroism. Shock tactics. When attacking, pins enemy unit in place by destroying all of its movement points. Interesting. That would be really nice on an aircraft, actually. I think that would be very nice on an aircraft. Thanks to our special recon ability, we can actually see that the enemy has two tacticals. And those could potentially put the hurt on us as we approach. So we might want to purchase an anti-aircraft gun to advance with our front line. This recon thing, I'm so glad I took it because it's really giving me so much information here. You know, I know that this is a proper entrenched fight, so I'm going to need to bring artillery and strat bombers to it to unpick all this. But the fact that I know that they've got 2 tacks, like right there, tells me I need to bring an AA gun. Just to suppress them. Although of course I have my fighters. Prototype units. Wow, this unit has actually received a huge buff. In the alpha it was no better than the Panzer 38, but in this release version it has slightly worse anti-tank ability, but incredibly better anti-infantry capability. Nearly twice the anti-infantry capability. We've not received any free prototypes, of course, because we... Oh, I captured this. Huh. I'm not a fan of anti-tank guns. You're always on the attack, and they're a defensive weapon, so it's kind of pointless. This is... in the original game, this was just an amazing piece of kit. Because it's actually got pretty good anti-tank for an anti-aircraft gun. Various versions of it get ever nastier. Its 24 anti-aircraft is terrifying to behold. I've always liked the Sturm Panzer because it's really mobile. My god, this thing's anti-tank capability is disgusting. Even though this thing's got hardly any range, because it's effectively a tank, it can actually get to where it needs to be. Is that a real bomber? Nah. That's garbage. Huh. Not sure why you'd go for that, except for the fact that it's cheap. Well, anyway, I'm gonna have a think about this mission, and I will see you guys next time for episode 2. We will attack this mission. I'll make my repairs and my hiring decisions and so on and so forth. Oh, we have a rail transports pool as well. That's interesting. So I guess you can actually move stuff by rail as well. We'll have to decide what our 3 upgrades are going to be as well, since we can only make 3 upgrades to our existing team. I already know what one of them will be. Unit list. Undeployed. I already know what one of them will be. We'll upgrade this artillery, because this low grade artillery is just total garbage. So we will definitely be upgrading that to a more powerful, more useful artillery. The Sturm Panzer is fine. Totally fine as it is. Likewise, fighters and tanks, strategic bombers at this point are all as good as they need to be. There are some tanks here that could probably do with an upgrade. So we'll have to very carefully consider where we spend our upgrades. But 3 upgrades per mission and 61 missions, or 60 missions I guess, I'm sure we'll be fine. Worst case scenario, of course, we could sell a unit and rebuy the unit that we want. But I doubt that would ever be a big deal, or something that we would need to do. Anyway, that's it for now. Just so many thoughts I wanted to get off my chest. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We had a very clean first mission there, and I'm very happy with it. So We will be hitting mission number 2, and this is Panzer Corps on Field Marshal difficulty, with slightly reduced randomness, because I can't stand casino gameplay. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.